Today, I will explain 4 things that are the foundation of internet and hacking. Once you understand these 4 things, you are good to go in cyber security. Now, the first one is IP address. Now, what is the meaning of IP address? IP simply means internet protocol. So this is what tells us where you are on the internet. IP address tells us where you are located on the internet. So IP address just like your house number. For example, if they live at number 1 Daniel Street. So if person won't locate you now, they will go straight to number 1 Daniel Street. So your address on internet, that is what we call IP address. As you are watching this video, you are watching from a particular place. And as you are connected to my video, watching this video right now, you are using what we call public IP address. Now it is that through that public IP address, I can track your location if you did not hide it or you did not use VPN. So that is what we call IP address. So on the internet now, it is the IP address that all those websites and devices used to locate one another. On the internet, nobody sabi each other name, but everybody sabi each other IP address. So that is why IP address is one of the number 1 foundation that you must understand in cybersecurity. Now let's go. We have 2 types of IP address that you must know. And these 2 types of IP address are, number 1, we have private IP, which is the local IP. Then we have public IP, which is the IP that is on internet. Now, the private IP, they are those IP that are within your local area network. They are within your phone. They don't go out. They are within your vicinity. They are within your phone or your laptop or your device. They are within you. They are around you. They are not far. Why public IP address? They are the one that you use to connect to the internet. So as you are watching this video on the internet, you are using public IP address. Now, you don't need to cram all private IP and all public IP. No, you don't do that. Now, just master the private IP. Then the remaining one, they are public IP. Now, let me tell you, this is how you master private IP. Now, you see, any IP address. So we have range of private IP address. Now, let me give you. The first range is any private IP address that start with 10.0.0.0, that is 4, to 10.255.255.255.255. Any IP within that range, they are private IP. So just know that any IP that start with 10, once you see 10, that one is a private IP. That is local IP address. The second range is when you see an IP address that has this range, 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. Within that range you are saying, any IP that falls within that range, it is what? It is private IP. So what that means, we say if I have 172.18.0.0, it is what? It is private IP because it falls within this range I just mentioned. So that is number 2 way for you to identify private IP. Now the third range is when you see an IP address that has 192.168.0.0 to 192.168.255.255. Any IP address that starts with 192.168, it is private, not public. So those 3 ranges like that, they are what? They are the private IP. Others, they are public. I hope you get it. So that is how you'll be able to identify private IP from public IP. Why I'm explaining this? Because when you want to do maybe log analysis or forensic analysis from your pickup, you need to be able to differentiate between private and public. You need to know the kind of attack that is happening. This attack, is it internal? Okay, that is private IP. Okay, is it external? That is public IP. Oh, this particular person that is attacking our system, is it within our organization? That is internal attacker. And internal attacker will use what? Private IP. Now, this person that is attacking our organization, is he from outside? Is he attacking us from outside? That is what? That is external attacker, which will be state actors or whatever they may be. So you need to understand this very well. So if you don't get, you can check my screen, you can see it. So you can see the private, you can see the public. So that is it. Now, if your IP got leaked, what can hackers do with it? Number 1, they can know your location through the IP. That's number 1. Number 2, they can attack you through the IP. Then number 3 is they can scan your device. They can scan it. They can scan it to know the kind of device, to know different kind of thing. So those are the ways that they can attack you if your IP is leaked. And that is why it is very, very essential for you to use VPN sometimes. Now let's go to number 2. The number 2 foundation of internet and hacking is what we call DNS. Now DNS simply means domain name system. This is the internet phone book that helps us to convert domain name to what? To an IP address. Without this domain name system, we'll be cramming different kind of IP on our head. You want to visit Facebook, you cram the IP of Facebook. You want to visit Twitter, you cram the IP of Twitter. You want to visit TikTok, you cram the IP of all websites or all applications you want to visit. Else, you will not be able to visit them. But with the help of DNS, so anytime you type maybe facebook.com on your browser, automatically the DNS will convert that Facebook. We attach it to what? To its exact IP address, and your browser will be able to connect, and you'll be able to visit Facebook and do whatever you want to do. So that is the function of what? Now, how can hackers attack DNS? Number 1 is DNS poisoning. They can actually purge the DNS with a fake IP address, meaning that you want to connect to tiktok.com. As you type tiktok.com on your browser, hackers will now purge the DNS that want to serve your Facebook and your tiktok.com. Hackers will purge it with fake IP address that they have created. They know that you want to log in, so automatically they will purge fake IP address that once you visit it, it will look exactly like TikTok, whereas it is not TikTok. It is a fake entire website. So the moment you type tiktok.com and they take you to that place, you fill in your details and they cache it and they hack into your account. So that's number 1. Number 2 is phishing redirection. They can also perform phishing redirection on domain system, meaning that they can set up a phishing link, a phishing page that will look exactly like one of those big organizations, and you click on it and you'll be directed to fake websites. Number 3 is DNS hijacking. They can hijack your internet. They can hijack it and direct you or make you to download malicious stuff. So that is DNS, domain name system, making number. Now the number 3 foundation of internet and hacking is what we call ports, P-O-R-T. Now ports is the doorway to an application or to any device. So it is just like the door that you need to connect to any part of application or any part of system. So if a door is not secure, hackers can penetrate, right? Like your room door. If your room door is not well locked, somebody can just go there and use maybe one iron arm. So that is how it is. Now every devices, every application, every system have 65,535 ports that they can use to connect to it, that they can use to communicate to it. So it is that door that they can use to communicate to it. Now, as you are watching this video, you are watching the video on port 443, which is HTTPS, or port 80, which is HTTP. So that port you are using to watch me, that is the door of this particular app where you are watching me. So imagine this particular port now that you are using to connect to me now is now vulnerable or is not well secured. Hackers can do a lot of things. So that is what we call ports. And we have 65,535 ports in every application. Now, let's go to common ports and their number. So you need to know the common ports and their number, like the number that they can use to connect to them as a cybersecurity beginner. Number 1, we have ports 80. Port 80, that is for what? For HTTP. Then we have port 443. Port 443 is for what? HTTPS. Then we have port 22, which is what? Which is SSH. Then we have port 21, which is what? FTP, that is file transfer protocol. Then we have port 53, which is the DNS, domain name system. Then we have port 3306. This is for MySQL, that is all database, they use these ports. Then we have port 3389. This is RDP, that is remote desktop protocol. This is the port that hackers love because this is the port that they use to hack most of our computer system. So hackers love it. Now, if ports they open and they secure, or maybe secure, what thing will happen? Number 1, hackers go exploit that port. They go hack them. And once they hack them, they go follow that way, enter that particular system. So that is number 1. Number 2, we say they can drop payload or malware through that port that is vulnerable. They can drop payload or malware, and they will continue to attack, to continue to steal data, or to continue to do a lot of stuff inside the computer system or the phone. Number 3, we say if ports they open and they secure, they feel brute force. They feel brute force different kind of accounts where that particular system gets. That's number 3. Number 4, we say they fit do reconnaissance, meaning that they fit gather a lot of information about that particular organization when get out that particular application or that particular system. So they gather a lot of information, a lot of sensitive information they will gather and they will carry and go. So that is why port is very, very essential for you to know in cyber. Now the number 4 foundation of internet and hacking. Now we call protocol. Protocol, it is the law of communication on the on the internet. So it is a kind of law that guides every communication that we use on the on the internet. So for you to communicate with me on a particular app or on a particular place on internet, we need to follow the protocol law so that we'll be able to communicate, else we'll not communicate. So that is what protocol simply stands for. So basically, protocol they define how message will move from one device to another. So the kind of way message is supposed to move from one device to another, now protocol they talk about. So make a quickly list those protocols, some common protocol like HTTP and HTTPS. This one is protocol for what? For websites. Any websites or most of those applications you visit, they use this protocol to communicate. And that is the protocol you're using to watch this video right now, because you're watching it on what? On the websites or an application. Then number 2, we have FTP or SFTP. This one is the protocol that we use to transfer file. So any file you want to transfer, this is the protocol that they use. I want to send my picture to you. The protocol that file we use to get to you is what? FTP or SFTP. Then number 3, we have IMAP or SMTP. This is the protocol that all our email email messages use to communicate. Then we have DNS. This is the one that our domain name system use to communicate. Whenever we want to browse, that we type name of website. So this is the protocol that it's used. We have TCP. TCP is for what? Reliable connection. So anytime we are connecting to an application, the protocol that we use at that time that we are connecting to is TCP. So it is reliable connection. UDP is like the advance of TCP. It is very, very fast and can go to a very far distance, but it is not guaranteed. So this kind of protocol that they use for most of when you're streaming online, when you're streaming video games, all those things online. So those are the kind of protocol that they use. Maybe you're watching football match live. That is the protocol that they use. Now, how can hackers abuse protocol? Number 1 way for them to abuse protocol is they bypass firewall. So the firewall that they use to protect the protocol, they can bypass it. That's number 1. Number 2 is they can scan the network. They can scan it to know different kind of things that is running on it, to know the different kind of communication that is going on. That's number 2. Number 3 is they can move laterally. If that protocol is not sandboxed or is not well secured, they can move laterally. They can move from one system to another because they already know that okay, I'm communicating with you. So if they were able to hack my own phone and they were able to enter my own phone, so through the protocol they can follow it and come to your own phone, do whatever I want to send to you. So that's lateral movement. Now, how do all these 4 things, how do they work together? This is the way they work together on the internet. The first thing you do is you type your DNS name. That is domain name system, Abby. So you type domain name system. That is, let's say, facebook.com. Now, as you type it, the DNS will now look for what? For the IP address of that domain. That's number 2. You type the domain name, then the DNS look for the for the IP that match that domain name. So that is number 2. Now, number 3 is that your browser now will now connect your domain name and your IP together like this. They will marry each other together. So that is number 3. Now you will now be able to communicate with that facebook.com website through HTTPS protocol or HTTP protocol. So you can see, and you'll be able to send or receive. So that is how everything works together. So you see, it's very, very simple. So that is the basic 4 foundation of internet and hacking. So in summary, IP is what? Is your house number. So it is the number that they can use to locate you wherever you are on the internet, and they can use it to track you down. That's number 1. Number 2, we have DNS. So DNS is that thing, you understand? Is that what? Is that Yahoo bomb that is on internet that will help you to convert name, you understand, to match the IP of that particular website. That's number 2. Number 3 is ports. So ports is the door to every services. So it means for you to connect to any kind of person, you need to know their door, whether their door is open or closed. So it is ports that define whether door is open or closed. And through ports they can hack a system. Then number 4 is what we call protocol. So it's protocol that enable 2 people or 3 devices or more devices to communicate with one another and share different kind of things that they have. So in my next video, I'm going to talk more on protocol. Please don't miss that. If you enjoyed this video, like, follow, and share for more updates. So thank you for watching.